Hello, and welcome to Pumpkin Patch Training. Are you ready to get some good training, Billy?
I am ready for training like I've never been ready for training.
I'm ready to learn about how to work on the patch.
Yes.
How to take care of those pumpkins.
Yes.
How to boss around those
Yes.
students. How to unload the truck.
I love pumpkins.
How to sign up for a shift.
I really do.
That's right.
I love them.
Hey, so this video is required watching for anybody who wants to work the patch. Once you've gotten through our 5 very important pumpkin patch commandments, then there'll be a form you can fill out to say, hey, I watched that video and I understand those commandments. And once you do, you, sir or ma'am, will be able to sign up for pumpkin patch shifts and get some hours.
Alright, so the first of the pumpkin patch commandments, the first one is,
Dun dun dun!
you are the face of the church. Basically, when people come to the pumpkin patch, they see you and you represent the church. They go, I'm at Niceville United Methodist Church, I'm at the pumpkin patch, I need a pumpkin. This person works here, so they must represent the church. So that means your behavior reflects Jesus.
So some ways we expect you guys to reflect our church to the community when you're at the patch. Number 1, nothing with the screen belongs on the patch. So your cell phone, your iPod, your stupid Game Boy, anything you got with a little battery in it and a screen. I know how much fun it is and how important it is to your life, but it cannot be at the patch.
The next pumpkin patch proverb is you've got to remember that when people come on the patch from our community, your job, your role is to welcome them, greet them as they come onto the lot. You're going to give them this jazzy, beautifully pumpkin orange flyer that is going to go to them. It's got all kinds of info about our church and the pumpkin patch and why we do what we do. Don't forget, you represent the church and Jesus.
When you're there in the patch, you're not supposed to spend all your time with your friends. In fact, you're supposed to spend very little of your time with your friends.
Unless your friend is a pumpkin.
So what you need to do is, if you think, well, this is boring, I'm just standing out here wiping pumpkins, I'm bored, I want to talk to someone, I want to hang, guess who you can hang out with? Pumpkin customers. Pumpstomers.
What?
Basically, if someone is there, if someone is there to buy a pumpkin, they're there for you to serve them. So that's who you should be spending your time with.
And so if we have people coming on the patch and we're not helping them get what they need, they have a bad experience with our church. So some things you can do to help. Number 1, greet every single customer. No one should set foot on the patch without one of y'all going up and saying, hey, this is my name. If you need any help, I'm here to help you. Here's a flyer. We also like to carry people's pumpkins for them. Once they picked out a pumpkin, we would love it if they never touched that pumpkin again until they took it out of their trunk at their house.
So clean it,
we
show it some love.
Wipe it down, spray it, get it dry, carry it to their car.
Give it a ride in a wheelbarrow.
The pumpkins love those gently. They love gently riding in the wheelbarrow.
There's no customers out there. You just got to make sure you take care of the pumpkins, by cleaning them and turning them and, getting rid of rotten ones, all that kind of stuff. Because happy pumpkins make happy customers. So basically, guys, all we're saying is act like Jesus. So if you act like Jesus while you're on the patch, and actually when you're off the patch too, that'd be great.
Welcome all to Pumpkin Patch Commandment number 2, save the patch. We got a lot of changes this year to the patch. Some things are going to be working differently, but a couple things are the same. What's the same, Billy?
Well, the things that are same as part of commandment number 2, guys, in saving the patches. If you are a 6th grader, you still have to have a parent out there with you working on the patch when you volunteer for your hours. And if not a parent, I think you can bring a friend.
An adult friend who is responsible for you.
Not Tyler.
Another thing that's not changing, Billy, is if you want some extra shifts, you think like, man, I'd love to work this Wednesday, but I didn't sign up. Our whole schedule, including when you've signed up for and what shifts are open, is available on the website 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you can check, confirm when you're working, find some shifts that are open and say, I want that shift. I'm going to tell Nadine. I'm going to tell N. Moreno at nicevilleumc.org.
Hey, we want you guys to be about saving the patch. We are trying to save the pumpkin patch. It's huge. And you've probably already heard about the change, maybe. But if not, here's the biggest change. We're not able to give you individual money in an individual account as you work the patch.
The tax man said so.
That's correct. The big tax man. So, I like that. That's kind of cool. All that means is this. We are going to work collectively to do our best to first and foremost save the patch. Because we want to continue to have a fundraiser.
We love the patch.
So that what we're going to do this next year, we're trying our hardest to get Blitz and Sabbath as close to the cost for you of zero. Which means
Free.
for everybody.
Is a goal,
Yes.
not a guarantee.
Correct.
It's
It's
a
a goal.
Not a guarantee.
We want as many kids to go to Sabbath and Blitz this next year free.
So the entire pot of money from the pumpkin patch, instead of going to you for your 5 hours of work and you for your 35 hours of work, goes to the collective good of all of our students who will be going to Sabbath and Blitz.
Did we talk about the shifts?
Shifts. So another thing that's changing this year is with the shifts. If you think to yourself, well, I'd love to work the patch, but maybe I could make a little scratch too, while I'm doing that. Get that paper, stack it up. I'd like to make money working this pumpkin patch. Well, that's good because we are willing to employ some of you in our pumpkin patch this year. The 9:30 to 2:30 slot, the preschool slot, is 4 paid positions per day, Monday through Friday, all month. So if you're interested in doing that, if you love preschoolers, if you want to read to them this book that's kind of about pumpkins but also about Jesus, and you'd like to make some money while you're doing that, we will pay you to do preschool visits from 9:30 to 2. Cash money, not credit.
Check. We will cut you a check.
Briefcase.
You are an employee.
Unmarked, non-sequential dollar bills.
That boy ain't right.
So we'll save the patch, make some scratch.
Yes.
That was not written on my
Man,
script.
that's awesome. You did a good job, Tyler.
So, but if you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't want to make any money working the patch. I just want to serve the community because you know what? The community loves the patch, honestly.
Hey, if we don't save the patch, guess who's not going to be real happy? The community. Because they love the patch. We love the patch. You love the patch.
So, if you
Save
think
the
to
patch.
yourself,
So, Miss Pearson, tell me what brings you in today.
It's the third commandment. People just forget the third commandment.
Commandment? Well, what is the third commandment again?
Pumpkins have feelings too.
Pumpkins.
It's true. The third commandment of the pumpkin patch is that pumpkins have feelings too. It's very important. People forget all sorts of things about them.
Such as?
Pumpkins don't have handles. If you lift a pumpkin by the stem, it'll rip off. Would you like someone to rip your hair off? No. You need to carry pumpkins in your arms like a baby.
So what you're speaking of here, Miss Pearson, is long-term care of a pumpkin's feelings.
Yes, like rotating them when they get wet, so to make sure the moisture on the ground dries off and they don't get rotten. And moving rotten pumpkins, oh, it's so hard. When a pumpkin dies, people just kick it or play with it or leave it on the ground, but it needs to be carried lovingly to the dumpster and put inside of it.
So a proper, dignified burial? Is that what you're saying, Miss?
With respect and honor.
How do you feel about pumpkins that are missing being a part of a community?
Oh.
Like they're all spread out. What about that?
No. The pumpkin community is a very, very large deal. If there's a pumpkin that is on the ground, on the outskirts of the patch because there hasn't been room in the middle, the minute there is a space on the pallets for that pumpkin, it needs to be picked up, the bottom needs to be wiped off, and needs to be put on a pallet. People are meant to be with families, and it's the same way with pumpkins. They need each other.
Wow, this is fascinating, Miss Pearson, and somewhat psychotic. How do you sell the pumpkins, Miss Pearson? I mean, just tell me more about that. This is great information.
The pumpkin calling is a high calling. They're by donation only. We have model pumpkins set out that their sole aim is to serve as an example of how much a pumpkin is worth.
Excellent.
So a customer takes the pumpkin they want in their arms, they carry it to the models, they stand it up and figure out which model that it matches the most, and that helps them decide what they want to pay. In the end, the customer chooses what they pay for the pumpkin. It's by donation.
Well, what would happen if someone tries to sell one of the models, though?
No, we cannot. We cannot let it happen. The models must be protected. They're important to the pumpkin community. But Dr. Little Billy, what's wrong with me?
I'm not sure what's wrong with you, Caitlin, but I've never been called little ever. But it has something to do with this. Alright guys, just remember, unloadings at the pumpkin patch are essential. The more people we have to help unload those pumpkins, the better. Isn't that right, Caitlin?
Oh, yeah.
So, here we go. Make sure that during pumpkin unloadings that you're going to get time and a half. So, you want to make sure that you're there for those unloadings because you get time and a half. So, with that said, when you sign up for unloadings, we need your cell phone number and your cell phone provider so that we can get in touch with you. Uh-oh!
Bring your friends. Bring your family. Bring your friends' family. Bring your family's friends. Bring everyone you can find because unloadings get you money. Yay!
Also, don't forget, the thing about the pumpkin patch unloadings is we have them set kind of in stone, but not really.
Yes.
So we want to be able to communicate with you. Check Facebook, check your text messages. I know you guys keep your cell phones in your hands, so keep up with that because we will have a change, I'm sure, of when unloadings happen. So keep that in mind.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present you with the fifth and final of the Pumpkin Patch Commandments. Adults, you're going to love this one. The commandment is, adults are the bosses.
Who's the boss?
Adults.
Adults.
So let's elaborate on some ways in which you are, in fact, bossing.
So, be bossy. Well, kind of. Just know that you guys are an authority over all the students. So you're not just out there managing your own student. If you got your kid out there, you're managing all the students. And Tyler and I and Caitlin will make sure that the students know that. So just make sure, adults, that you are supervising the students that are out there on the lot.
And students, I hope you heard us say that. Whichever adult is working your shift is your boss.
Even Tyler.
Isn't it great to have so many bosses?
Absolutely.
Also, there's always at least 2 adults on the patch. Of the 2 adults that are out there, one of them always needs to have a seat at the cash box. Why is that, Billy?
Because it's important that the cash box doesn't walk away.
That's true. We always want an adult to be manning the cash box. Plus, adults, do you want some 13-year-old pimple-faced kid taking your money? No, of course not. And our customers don't want that either. The second adult has a couple of roles. One is just to kind of float. When there's a whole lot of visitors on the patch, we want the adult to be out there making sure every visitor is greeted, making sure that the students are doing their job in greeting and rotating pumpkins. It's just kind of guiding what's happening on the patch. Rotating, making sure things look good, making sure the students have work that they're doing. And then the second role, if it gets really busy in the tent, the second adult can step into the tent and kind of help guide the line.
So finally, adults, well, not really finally, because Tyler has a very important announcement after this, but we want you to know, adults, that when you probably should try to get to your shift a few minutes early because we have some very important instructions for you to transition shifts, but especially if you have an opening shift in the morning or a closing shift in the evening. There's some instructions that we provided for you in the patch, so you take some time to go over those, read those, make sure you know what to do in terms of getting money out for the day, or getting coolers prepared for the day, or getting your students to help you prepare coolers, or put money in the deposit for the end of the evening when we finish up and close at night, which, if I understand correctly, the closing time is most likely changing this year. Isn't that correct, young Tyler?
That's correct, Billy. We have some new hours at the Pumpkin Patch this year that we're very excited about. We think it's going to help things be a little more smooth and efficient. And if you want to know about those new hours, including Sunday hours, you can check the website and look at our shifts and see kind of how those line up. But we're excited about the new hours, and adults, we're excited about empowering you to be the boss. And that is the 5th and final pumpkin commandment.
So, consider yourself trained.
I feel
that
smart.
You are so intelligent.
Truly, I feel
but
smart.
are you as intelligent as those guys, Tyler?
I
And
venture
gals?
to say yes.
Doubtful. So, anyway, that is Pumpkin Patch Training. So glad you guys could join us. Make sure you check out the link right around
Boom.
there.
That's right.
That gives you more info on how you can get signed up. Now that you've done this training, you can sign up for your shift, and I think all the info is going to be online for you.
That's right.
So, see ya!